Hey guys, this is Brian Shaw. I'm coming to you live here from SHAWSTRENGTH in Colorado with the next Arnold update. So we're now 9 weeks out from the Arnold, coming quick. It's crazy how fast this week has already gone by. If you remember in the last interview, the fifth event was a mystery. So now we've actually had that revealed, and I got the email this morning with that, and I was expecting something new. My mind's been kind of guessing what we could possibly do at the Arnold, and unfortunately it's not a new event. It's actually, we're going back to the bale tote or the super yoke event that we've had the last 2 years there. It will be changed though, even heavier than what it was in 2015. So we're going up to 700 kilos, which is 1,544 pounds. And it's going to be a 5-meter course, which is just over 16 feet. The course actually in 2015 was slightly longer than that, almost 20 feet. So it'll be interesting how this plays out. With this event, you'll have to carry a 1,300 pound yoke, complete that, and then move on to the heavier yoke, which I said would be 700 kilos or 1,544 pounds. So it's going to be interesting because this is a tough event to train. It's a tough event to prepare for. And in the contest, there's a lot of pressure to perform with something that massively heavy. So, you know, the goal for me is going to be in training not to get beat up, not to overdo it, to be smart and to know when to push and when to pull back. And that's really going to be the difference in this event for me. In 2015, Zadrunas and I were the only ones to complete the yoke. And it took both of us almost the full 30 seconds. I ended up winning slightly. Both of us dropped it right at the end, so it was very, very close neck and neck with that event. So it's going to be really interesting how that plays out. And we, like I said, we're the only two to complete that, and they've made it even heavier. So it's going to change the dynamic of that event. So very interesting change 9 weeks out. And I've had to now, again, completely rethink my training because carrying something that heavy, now I have to look at how heavy are my deadlifts going to be? How much do I want to push on that? You know, how's my recovery going to be affected? The other interesting change also with the contest is I got some news about the frame carry. Frame carry is going to be with straps again, and it's going to be 1,100 pounds again. So 1,100 pounds carried up a ramp with straps in hand. As you probably remember from the last update, I said I would prefer to do the frame without straps to test the grip. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So I'm fine with the heavier frame. I think it's a lot funner to test the grip, and I think it adds an extra dimension of strongman that should be tested. But you know, I take what events are there and just practice them and get better. So hopefully those two will have to play off of each other, the heavy frame carry and the heavy yoke, because both of them are very heavy moving events for somewhat of a short distance. Obviously, the yoke is a little bit shorter distance than the frame, but they're both going to be very interesting and kind of play off of each other. Also, I got a couple questions from people that had watched the last update last week, so I wanted to kind of address a couple of those with regard to the actual competition. One person asked about the log and why there's a lighter log and a heavy log, and the answer to that is the Arnold's very unique in the way that they do their events, and they want to find out who the strongest man is. So what they do is first they give us the option of trying to press a heavier log. So we do that first. If you're able to press 1 rep on the heavier log, then you don't have to press a lighter log, and you beat anybody that does any number of reps on the lighter log. So essentially you're getting rewarded for being stronger than for doing a lot of reps on a lighter log, which in this case, the lighter log is probably going to be close to 400 pounds. So it's not like it's really that much lighter, but obviously it's a huge advantage as a competitor to be able to press at least 1 rep on the heavy log. Then you don't have to do a bunch of reps on the lighter log. So hopefully that kind of clears that up, that question. And then another question that I got is from one person was about how much I wanted the 5th event to possibly be a max stone load. So we go up progressively to the biggest stone that any of us could possibly load. And to be fair, speaking right to you, man, I couldn't want anything more. I would love to have a max stone load. You know, the stone not being in the Arnold, I think the last couple of years has been very disappointing to me, because I think that historically strongman and, you know, the manhood stones, the stones of strength, that's such a cornerstone of strongman competitions. And it's been, you know, in several different cultures, lifting stones is such a prominent thing to show strength. And it's just disappointing. It's overall disappointing to me that the Arnold Classic does not have a stone load, because before I even competed in the Arnold, when I was just a fan, a spectator of this, that was the event. I remember they brought out the Atlas stone the first year was 520 pounds. And I couldn't believe they had a stone that heavy, and I wondered who could load it, who was going to do what. And I was like, I literally was on the edge of my seat as a fan of this sport to see who could do that and who was going to do what with that stone. And they increased the weight every year, and it was just amazing to me. I loved that event, and obviously I won it also every year that I competed at the Arnold that it was there. And you know, so from a performance standpoint, I'm also disappointed, because it would be a good event for me. And you know, it's, as a competitor, it's very sad that I'm so gifted at that event and that I can lift much, much heavier stones than we've ever had in a competition. But unfortunately, I don't get to show that in a contest setting. And you know, having the opportunity to do that at the Arnold is perfect. It's a perfect stage. And you know, it's disappointing. So, I mean, that's kind of a long-winded way to answer your question, but I'm definitely disappointed that we don't have some type of stone loading event at the Arnold. And I think that, to be fair, there's 5 events. I think a 6th event could be there, and it could be a stone. So you could keep the frame, you could keep the yoke, keep the 2 pressing events, and, you know, keep the deadlift, which is a cornerstone, and then add in a stone. And actually, the Arnold used to be 6 events as well, and most people out there probably don't realize that, but it used to be 6 events and they dropped one. So I think it would be a better contest to keep all the events they have now and add in a stone. That would be another option. I just don't think they have the time on the stage. So overall, it's now that all the events are out there, this is going to be brutal. It's going to be a brutal contest, and training for it's going to be unbelievable. Over the next 9 weeks, it's going to be a battle, both mentally and physically, to get ready for this, because it's so heavy, and everything your body goes through, it's just a beating. It's weekly. I'm going to have to analyze my training week to week, making sure that I'm doing everything I can to recover, everything I can to train smart, to not get injured in training. I really, you know, just have to wrap my mind around how heavy some of these events are going to be. And it's going to be fun, but at the same time, it's going to be a huge challenge. So another question I got was about how the Arnold develops these new events. And obviously we know that this year they were trying to develop a new 5th event instead of the bale tote. They were coming up with something. So I do know that from their perspective, they're trying to develop events for the 10 strongest men in the world. And a lot of times it's hard to find men to test those events so that they're accurate and that they're weighted right and they're done correctly so that the strongest man truly wins. And I know that they take a lot of pride in that. So I think that's kind of what happened this year. So I know they take a lot of time and effort in developing and thinking about the events that they're going to do at the Arnold. And you know, unfortunately this year it didn't work out to get a new event, and that very well could be something that we see in the future, maybe in 2017 at the Arnold. So a good question came in about the competitors that have been invited to the Arnold this year, because I don't think anything has been put out there, at least not from what I've seen. From what I can gather, the list of competitors that are invited are obviously I'm invited. So Zydrunas Savickas is back again. Vytautas Lawless is going to be making his return to competition from what I've heard. I know that he's got an invite, which will be awesome. He won the Arnold in 2013. Eddie Hall is invited again to come back. Eddie's a static beast, really, so it'll be interesting to see what he does at his second year at the Arnold. Hafthor Bjornsson, always improving. He's back again, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Mateusz Keselowski, who actually got on the podium last year, 3rd place, kind of came out of nowhere and surprised a lot of guys. I don't think anybody was really expecting that out of him. He's invited back again, from what I can gather, so that'll be interesting because I really haven't heard anything about him this year. Jerry Pritchett is back again, another strong guy. I'm sure he's probably be excited about the deadlift as well. Dimitar Saventinov is back. Very good presser. Tied with me for first in the dumbbell event. So he's constantly getting better. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him. The winner of the Arnold Amateur contest from 2015, which I believe is Alexander Lynchiko. Hopefully I didn't say the name too bad. And he's a big guy from Russia. It'd be interesting to see how he, translates and comes on to that big of a stage at the Arnold. I know that he was at World's Strongest Man last year and got some action there. So obviously more experience helps with him. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And then the last spot's actually up for grabs still. And I believe that there will be a qualifier somehow at the LA Fit Expo, which is a contest that Ode Haugen promotes. So that'll be so there's 9 guys on the list right now, and that 10th spot will be determined at the Fit Expo, which is coming up here, I believe, on January 24th, somewhere in there. So yeah, it's a great lineup of guys. I can't say for sure that everybody on that list is 100% confirmed to compete. I don't think any of us have been told that. I know, obviously who the emails went out to. So yeah, it'll be interesting. If everybody shows up in top shape, this will be a battle, like without a doubt, a huge battle. So great list of competitors, and definitely looking forward to that for sure. All right, guys, I think we'll wrap up week 9 update there. We're 9 weeks out, so definitely getting interesting now. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to post comments, ask questions, and I want to be able to interact with you as we go on with these updates and be able to answer at least a few of those questions every week. So keep posting, and we'll try to do our best to get everything answered that you ask. So keep training hard, and we'll come at you here in about another week.